Well, awards season keeps moving, and last night we had the Golden Globes. And before we dive into the winners, I want to talk briefly about the production as a whole. There were some missteps, but the highlight, I thought, of the whole production was once again bringing Nikki Glaser back to host. She killed it last year, she killed it this year. Her monologue was hilarious, and a few jokes she had throughout the show also kept energy high, the laughs coming. But I do want to talk about this, and this was something that was really starting to irritate me last night, and it was the consistency of the clips. Now, why they chose to have clips for Best Podcast instead of the actors that they were there to award and highlight baffles me. I couldn't believe when the clips for the podcast started going, and yet by that point in the evening, we'd already given out several acting awards with no clips at all. I don't know where that decision came from. Look, I understand that clips add time to your award show, but you are there to honor the people who made these shows and movies that they are celebrating, and I think the clips are an important part of that. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have had them for the podcast, but doing certain clips for podcasts and other various awards and not the actors was really confusing to me. One other massive misstep, in my opinion, that I actually didn't realize until the point in the show when they gave out Best Song. And I was like, in the list of order of awards, Best Score was going to immediately follow that, and it didn't. I was a little confused, hopped online, and immediately saw that they cut that last minute for time. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to get too into this, but that's incredibly disrespectful and left a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the show. To last minute cut this award for time, but you leave in podcasting. Now, I know I'm sounding harsh on podcasts. I'm not trying to be. But when you're there to celebrate the shows and movies of the year and you cut score, what are you thinking? I hope we don't see that happen again next year. That as soon as I found that out, I couldn't believe it. Hans Zimmer made a good point about this and how kind of insulting that is to the composers who work incredibly hard to bring incredible music that underscores these films that are so good. What are we doing? But all in all, I enjoyed the show for the most part. It does run a little bit long, as it always does, but I would have been more okay with that if you had clips, but whatever. So it was fine. I enjoyed it for the most part. Again, I think a lot of that came with Nikki Glaser. And the TV stuff ran about as expected in terms of awards. Weren't really too many surprises there. But let's go ahead and jump into the film side of things, where we now have a bit of a race on our hands. Hamnet took Best Drama. I think that now puts our two likely contenders for Best Picture at One Battle After Another and Hamnet. And I do think that it was just an accident. I don't see much life left in that film, unfortunately, especially with Oscar voting starting today. I don't know where this movie is going to fit in with the Oscars. Now, I do think we're going to see nominations for it still, but I don't think it has the upper hand like, spoiler alert, The Secret Agent does now. Best Comedy or Musical, obviously, a no-brainer, going to One Battle After Another. I still am waiting for the random Marty Supreme win in terms of picture. But, I mean, if it didn't happen here, it was never going to happen. One Battle After Another is just simply unstoppable, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But I am waiting for a surprise Marty Supreme kind of appearance, and I think it'll get one. I really do. Best Director, no surprise here, went to Paul Thomas Anderson. I would have been fine with, like I said yesterday, Ryan Coogler or Chloe Zhao in that category. Best Performance by an Actress in a Drama, Jessie Buckley. Again, No surprise here. Best Supporting Actress, Rose Byrne. I was holding my breath as this category was being announced. I said Supporting Actress, didn't I? I meant Best Actress in a Comedy Musical. Excuse me. I was holding my breath as they were announcing this category. I was fully prepared for like a random Emma Stone or Kate Hudson win here. But then when they announced Rose Byrne's name, I had a massive sigh of relief. It's now head-to-head between her and Jessie Buckley. Come on. Hamnet showed that it is not to be discounted yet. I never figured it was. I always knew it had a place this award season. A prominent place, obviously, alongside One Battle. And we're seeing here that Rose Byrne is still in this. I don't think she'll get the Oscar, unfortunately. Jessie Buckley, just what she does is incredible. And any other year, I think Rose Byrne would have had this. But the Hamnet One Battle train keeps on demolishing everybody in its way. All right, here we go. Best performance by a supporting actress. Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. If you watched my predictions video yesterday, I did go with Amy Madigan. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to stick with her through the rest of awards season. It will kind of, I think, depend on how momentum shifts, especially with SAG and the BAFTAs. But I do think now it is between these two ladies here, Tiana Taylor and Amy Madigan. All right, best performance by an actor in a drama. And here was the moment that I realized that Best International Film at the Oscars is probably going to go to The Secret Agent. Wagner Moura taking actor here is a very big step for this film. It was between him and Michael B. Jordan. I really didn't feel confident picking anybody else, and it wouldn't have made sense to really pick anybody else. I did go with Jordan just because I was really hoping to see that. But Wagner Moura, nonetheless. The Secret Agent is still in this. All right. Actor in a musical or a comedy, Timothée Chalamet. And at this point, I think we can put his name on the Oscar. I'm not going to quite count out DiCaprio yet, but I do think the path for Chalamet here is pretty open. All right. Now we have actor in a supporting role. Stellan Skarsgård here for Sentimental Value. I did not go with him, although I was very happy when he did win. And he had one of my favorite speeches of the night, highlighting the importance of seeing cinema in the cinema. I preach that every single day, especially in this day and age where streaming is kind of has a lot of people in its grasp. I'm a champion for the cinema, as I know. If you're watching this, you probably are too. So I was very happy about his speech and happy about the win. I think the Oscars probably going to actually come down between him and Benicio. I don't think Elordi is completely out of this. I think we do need to see a little bit more progression in award season. Sean Penn, he's great in One Battle, but he just hasn't gotten the momentum going to give me confidence that he has a shot at the Oscar. But we still have a long ways to go. All right, best screenplay motion picture, One Battle After Another. I do feel confident. I went with Sinners here. Originally, I did have One Battle, but I did switch it up for Sinners. But I do think that when it comes time for the Oscars, I think One Battle will take adapted, and Sinners can still take original here. I hope, at least. All right, best score that was showed during the... Showed? Too passionate about this. Forgetting grammar. That was shown during the commercial break. I'm not going to stop mentioning that. Sinners took that award, thankfully. I've been listening to that score throughout the day today, and it really is excellent. Best song, no brainer, Golden. If you're still betting against this song, I really would stop if I were you. All right, animated feature. God. Don't record on a Monday. Got it. Best motion picture animated, K-pop Demon Hunters again. If you are still holding out hope for another one of these films to win the Academy Award, I'd consider switching your ballot. Foreign language film, The Secret Agent. Again, this was a pretty big night for this film in terms of its feature in award season. And I think we now have our best international feature at the Oscars. All right, box office achievement. I went with Sinners here, and no surprise. I mean, that film killed it at the box office given what people expected it to do. It exceeded expectations. It was a wonderful experience at the cinema. I saw it several times. I enjoyed it every single time. And honestly, after last night, I really want to rewatch this movie. I'm trying to wait until I rewatch all of the Best Picture nominees, as I do every year for the Oscars. But I'm not going to lie. After last night, I've been really tempted to watch this movie, and I don't know if I can wait until I rewatch or watch for the first time all of the Best Picture nominees. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, the television stuff went about as expected. As I've said before, if you're new here, I am unbelievably behind when it comes to the TV shows that are out right now, so I really can't speak to all of that. I'm working on getting caught up, I promise, but I'm behind, and it is what it is. Busy watching movies. So, super quick video, just kind of a quick rundown of yesterday's Golden Globes. Did your favorite film win its awards last night that you were hoping it would? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you, as always, for clicking on one of my videos. I know this one was very fast-paced and ramble-ish today, but I did want to make sure that I got this video in, so we're gonna keep it short and sweet today. So once again, thank you as always for clicking on one of my videos, and well, I'll see you in the next one.